Yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker. Welcome to the bunker. This the bunker. Yeah, this the bunker.
Good people, what's up? Let's go. Listen, happy Wednesday, Wake the Beast Wednesday. We in the bunker. We're live, man. It's the Breakthrough Bunker, where we turn obstacles into stepping stones and dreams into reality. I'm your host, Murph, aka Mr. Motivation. Flat out excited to be here tonight. Oh man, it is on and popping. Let me tell you, I got the big homie on deck. Oh, my mental health enthusiasts, it's the night for you. So listen, what happens when healing meets representation? Johnnie G is a licensed therapist who's rewriting the script for mental wellness, especially for Black men. From the therapy chair to the YouTube screen, he's helping people unpack trauma, normalize vulnerability, and find strength in their story. Woo! I like that. This episode is a front row seat to the power of healing in community and why it's okay to not have it all figured out. Why it's okay to not have it all figured out. Hey, before we bring out Johnny, he's here. He's in the green room. Don't you worry yourself. He is here. We're going to do the 3, 2, 1 with Murph, where I share 3 thoughts, 2 quotes, and 1 prompt or question for you. Let's get in it. Healing isn't linear. It requires community, compassion, and consistent reflection. I like that. A takeaway, like growth happens in community. Growth happens in community. In my college course, we was talking about this maybe a few weeks ago about building a network, building that community for which you can grow, where you got people to lean on, people can build you up and hold you up, all right? They say compassion creates space for recovery to breathe, building community. Love that. 2, representation in therapy matters. When we see ourselves in a healer or in our healers, rather, we feel safer to be whole. I'm going to say it again. Representation in therapy matters. When we see ourselves in our healers, we feel safer to be whole. And I can't wait to dive in with Johnnie G about this. Our last guest, Keith, I know he was in the therapy, but he chose Black female. You know, Keith's a male, probably about to hit 40, but he chose a Black female because he wanted that motherly kind of vibe, sister that could feel him. So I'm definitely want to tap into Johnnie G about that. They said people heal best when they feel seen. People heal best when they feel seen. And representation just isn't about visibility. It's about safety, trust, and permission, right? And when our healers reflect our story, we're reminded that we're not alone and that healing is possible for us too, all right? And the last one I'm going to share, vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the root of connection, courage, and true transformation. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the root of connection, courage, and true transformation. A book recommendation, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. Let me tell you, I wasn't really on this vulnerability wave. I forget how I tapped into Brene, but she has a TED Talk out. Just pull up Brene Brown, Vulnerability TED Talk, Power Hour, and maybe an hour 30, all the way worth it. And from that, I got her book, and I really started tapping into like the power of vulnerability and how it is a superpower. And a lot of times we don't look at it like that, but it's definitely so. Two quotes. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi, what does that mean? So our deepest wounds often hold the key to our most profound breakthroughs. Right? Pain cracks us open, but it's through that very crack that healing, growth, and new awareness can flow through. I like that. And this one is from Johnnie G, Mental Health Fridays. We're going to learn a little bit about that. He said, you don't have to be healed to help others, just willing to be honest. You don't have to be healed to help others, just willing to be honest. Woo! I'm going to let him unpack that some more for us. One action or prompt for you. What's one story you've been afraid to tell, even to yourself, that deserves your truth and tenderness today? What's one story you've been afraid to tell, even to yourself, that deserves your truth and tenderness today? I thought I heard somebody sneak in here. My daughter might be here. So that's it for our 3, 2, 1. You know what I forgot though, team? I gotta get the chat popping. Our chat. Let me see. Let me just get it active. Shouts out to Miss Sharon. She's on the 1-2s, holding it down for the team. Sharon, what up? I think she's on TikTok. All right. Without further ado, the profound intro. Johnnie G, MSW, LSW. Today's guest is not just a therapist. He's a mirror, a voice, and a vessel for healing in communities that have too often been overlooked or misunderstood. Johnnie G is a licensed social worker and mental health therapist at Hand in Hand Counseling Services, a proud Black man with more than a decade of dedicated service. Johnnie has walked alongside children, adolescents, and adults on their mental health journeys, offering not just clinical expertise, but deep, compassionate presence. But his work doesn't stop at the therapy room. As the founder of JG Mental Health Fridays on YouTube, Johnnie has created a powerful space where vulnerability meets visibility, where Black men can see themselves reflected, heard, and empowered to heal. He's been featured in publications like Helpful Living magazine and invited to speak on numerous stages and podcasts, always anchoring his message in authenticity, representation, and practical hope. His accolades, including the Pitt Social Work Rising Star Alumni Award, speak to his excellence, but what speaks louder is his mission to normalize therapy, dismantle stigma, and ensure that healing is not a luxury, but a birthright. So if you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or unsure how to begin your healing, today's conversation is your open door. Let's welcome to the Breakthrough Bunker my man, Johnnie G, advocate, healer, and powerful reminder that we don't heal alone, we heal together. Johnnie G, what up?
All right, people, what's going on? What's going on?
My God, how you feeling, man?
I'm good. I'm good. When you was reading the intro, like a lot of stuff has happened outside of me being a therapist and everything, but also a month ago, I've recently um, started full time as a social work case manager at Forbes Hospital. So I'm in the hospital room now, and then part time I'm still doing therapy with Hand in Hand. So I'm doing those things, and then also with me being a licensed social worker, I'm in the process right now of going for my clinical social work license. So I'm getting ready for that. So
Oh,
making levels.
yo, listen, I love it, man. I love it. It's all about that forward progression. Well, Johnny, tell the people how you know Murph, man.
So Murph and I actually connected 2 years ago on social media. He hit me up on Facebook. We, started having conversations, And during that time of the conversation was when we was talking about the idea of doing a show called Cut the Stigma.
Mm.
And with Cut the Stigma, we did the first actual episode in Lancaster at the barbershop. I forgot the name of the barbershop, but we did it in the barbershop. And it was back in December of 2023. So it was like a few weeks before my birthday.
Mm.
It was a couple months after losing my dad and everything in that nature. It's that also I had my little brother Chris with me, and at the time when he was with me, this was before he even became my fraternity brother. So it was, a lot of stuff that was,
Wow.
happening in that moment. But that's how I met Murph, basically through
Yeah.
social media, which is why it's powerful when you're on social media and you're doing great work. You don't know who's watching you, and you don't know who you're gonna connect with for, the greater good and for a long time.
Yep, super real. So I teach a course, first year experience at Quinn Sigmund College. Shouts out to QCC. And literally last week, I said, we're gonna spend a class getting y'all linked in because y'all are linked out right now. And because it's about the
Mhm.
power of that building that network. I'm like, yo, what school you graduated from? Well, those alumni are doing something. You need to be tapped in. You know what I mean? So I definitely encourage you to use, social media intentionally to help you just further whatever you're doing. Well, Johnny, before we jump into what you promoting, man, you always promoting something. Share what you got.
Um, well, right now I'm still doing JG Menahar Fridays. I'm a member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, but right now with my leadership roles, I kind of am taking a break on that so I can mainly just focus on myself and everything and making sure I pass this exam on the first try only soon. But something big happened last night that actually got confirmed, and I'm just waiting on the final gist of it. But I could share, share it out. So since last year, I have submitted a nomination to sit on the state board of social workers, marriage and family therapists, and professional counselors for the state of Pennsylvania. A few weeks ago, Governor Josh Shapiro pushed my nomination in that I had submitted from last year. And as of yesterday, the PA Senate voted on it, and I got chosen to sit
Mm,
on the board.
mm,
So in a few weeks, I'll be waiting for my, appointment letter and other things of that nature to be able to sit on the board of, social workers,
wow.
marriage and family therapists, and professional counselors, just making sure that all the social workers get their voice heard, especially
Mm,
when it comes to the aspect of policies, testing, and things of that nature.
mm,
So that was a big, 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 shocker for me because I know the process was long because
mm.
I've been doing the process since last year, but after finding out that my name got pushed by the governor, and then finding out yesterday, first the Senate, the PA state senator in my area emailed me, and then an hour later, the governor's office emailed me to say, "Hey, congratulations, you're gonna you we push your nomination forward, and you're gonna be appointed."
That's
So
heavy, brother. Congrats, man.
thank you.
Listen, I be seeing you put in that work. I mean, I see what I see on socials, but I know that's like 10x in real time. So I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Is this the first time you sharing this news?
Mhm. Yep.
Oh,
So I did
exclusive.
so I teased everybody last night, like on social media, but I didn't share it out fully because I wanted to get like the official. I want to get even though I got the email and I saw the actual my name on the voting thing,
Right.
but I want to get the official letter from Governor Shapiro so I could be like, boom, here it is, y'all. It's official. Even though it's official now, but as soon as I
Right,
get that letter and
right.
figure out the next steps and stuff, I could be like, "Yep, it's official.
Yeah,
I'm on the
yeah.
on the
Listen,
board, sitting on the
Johnny said,
board."
trust but verify. Hello.
Yeah,
Man. So listen,
they
let's
got
go.
verified last night, but once I get that official paper, I'm like, "Yep, it is."
Oh man, that's super dope, super dope. So Johnny, talk to us. Tell us how was how'd you grow up, man? Single parent household, two parents.
Yeah. So it all started in a two-parent household
Mm,
until my mom and dad split when I was 9, going on 10. When my mom and dad had split, my dad ended up moving back to Alabama because that's where he's from to
mhm,
take care of my grandmom and my great grandmom and everything. And then me being in Philly with my mom and my siblings and
mm,
everything. With my siblings and I, we have different dads. Well, my brother and my sister, they had the same dad, but me and my youngest sister, we have different dads.
track. Interesting. So how that affect you growing up when y'all you know what I'm saying when y'all split? How that impact you?
Yeah, it affected me a lot because when the split has happened, even when my mom and dad was married and everything, every summer I always would either go to my mom's side of the family, which is in South Carolina, or my dad's side of the family in Alabama during the summer for summer breaks and stuff, and then come back to Philly to get ready for the school year and everything. But since the split happened, I didn't go to Alabama for the summers no more. I
Mm,
kind of lost contact with my dad's side of the family physically, even though I was talking to my dad and he like sending him pictures and everything like that. The physical presence was gone. So every summer, like when it was time for like summer breaks and stuff, I'm either going to South Carolina or I'm just staying in Philly. So the loss of contact impacted that. Also, when the split happened, I had moments where even I held it in until my adult years where I fully revealed it. But
mm,
I always used to like compare my siblings and their dads to my dad not being there and I'm being with them. And I'm like, oh, I gotta be the third wheel within the bunch. And I'm like, y'all, you're not my real dad. Like, you're not like
mm,
I can respect you, but you're not my dad. So, having those moments come into play. But yeah, it did impact me a lot because with being growing up in a two-parent household and having my dad by my side and being at the hip with him all the time and losing that piece,
mm.
it was, it impacted me. And I know we're going to talk about it more,
Yeah.
within adult years, but I know that affected me a lot. And as an adult, with him and I reconnecting more and rebuilding our relationship more, it kind of made it better for a lost time. And then now, like I said earlier, my dad passed away
Mm,
August 18th of 2023. So, being able to say, all right, I reconnected with my dad, spent some good time with him until I saw him take his last breath. So,
mm.
but
So
yeah.
Johnny, so from the split to y'all reconnected, what age did you reconnect?
I reconnected with my dad physically. I was 21. Yeah, 21. I was 21 because
Okay.
he had came to my graduation from Penn State when I
Mm,
got my bachelor's degree.
wow. Dig it.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
did your household push college that you had to go to college? That was like in the trajectory?
Well, I already said in my head that I wanted to go to college. That always been my thing of wanting to go to college and
Mm.
stuff. Especially during my teenage years, I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting out this house. I'm getting out this house." So, but I was doing good in school. I was an honor roll student, so
Mhm.
it wasn't, hard for me to like apply to different, places and stuff because people was already reaching out to me starting like my say starting my sophomore year in high school,
Oh wow.
reaching out to me saying, "Hey, apply to this school, apply to that school." But
Yeah.
then it grew more during my junior year. So yeah.
So how'd you land on going the social work route?
So what landed me into social work? So first off, Penn State. I went to Penn State for undergrad.
Mm,
Got my bachelor's in human development and family studies. Originally, when I went to Penn State, I really had wanted to be a pediatrician. I had wanted to be in the hospital, field and everything. But my senior year, when I was trying to figure out what do I wanted to do for grad school, I kind of was wondering like, hey, I don't want to be in school for so long because I know medical school, you got to be in school for some time and things of that
mm,
nature. And I wasn't ready to be in school forever because I want to be done. So, one of my fraternity brothers, I had talked with him about like what I was thinking about in my head, and he was saying, I think you should look into social work. Because for me, what I was thinking about more so was wondering like, why do we do the things we do? Is it because of our genetics? Is it because of our upbringing? Is it because of how the world's changing? So I wanted to get more into that aspect of it. And which why my fraternity brother told me to look into social work. So when I looked into social work to figure out the logistics of it, because when we hear the word social work, automatically we think about, all right, you're not going to make this amount of money. We think about CYF. We think about ruining relationships, families, things of that nature. But once I had got the research about what social work is, it's broad. You could do whatever you want in social work. And it don't have to be just that common, job factor that they put out there. There's other ways that you could be in the social work field. You could be a therapist, you could be a private investigator, you could be a police officer as a social worker. You could do a lot of different things. You could be a professor, you could be a researcher, you could do all different kind of things
Mm-hmm.
in the field. So having my fraternity brother put that bug in my ear to say, hey, look into the field of social work. And that's how I came to Pittsburgh, went to Pitt for grad school, and that's how I got my master's, and the rest was history.
So question, what so the your fraternity brother, why was this person's input so important?
I feel like the input was important because he was able to understand what I was thinking about in that moment in terms of what I wanted to do once I was done with Penn State.
Mm,
Because I wasn't really talking to certain people in terms of like, I don't know what's next, I don't know where I want to be and stuff. But once I had was fully invested to talk about it more, and he was able to get my input on it and understanding, it was like, okay, now I see what you're talking about, but let me try it out. Let me, check it out
mhm,
and such.
mm,
Because at that time, I could be honest, at that time, I wasn't sure, even though in the beginning I was ready to say, yeah, I want to be a doctor, pediatrician, psychologist, anything in that nature. I still didn't know right then and there as of yet what I really wanted to do until
right.
then.
Question for you. So a lot of my students, some come straight from high school, some of them did college, took time off, came back, some of them had a longer gap. But they all have a common thread of like not knowing exactly what to do. Having gone through your journey, what would you suggest to them? Someone that's back in school trying to figure out where to go, what direction.
Yeah, so basically for them, I'll tell the students really just to see, like, one, narrow down what you're interested in. Like I'll
Mm,
say pick like your top five interests that you're interested in. And with those top five, what do you see yourself doing with those top five interests? And then once you notice, like, all right, what you see within yourself within those top five, start narrowing it down. What are the pros
mm,
and cons of being in that career? Do you see yourself thriving in that career?
mm,
Um, do you see yourself struggling in that
mm,
career? So once you have your interests and then identify, okay, I could do something with this, I could do something with that, then break it down some more. And if you're like, all right, I'm stuck, then it's okay to talk to somebody else to say, hey, I'm stuck in this particular moment, but I can see myself doing this, but I don't know where to start or where to begin. So
mm,
just start jotting things down, start putting the ideas onto paper, start narrowing it down. And then
mm.
when you get stuck, don't be afraid to ask for help, ask for that second opinion, or even ask that individual that's in that career space to
Mm-hmm,
give you some guidance and, some insight.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Shouts out to my students that may be tapped in. That was for you. I gotta stop. Hey, I want to tap into your fraternity hat. So I've been hit up a couple times, like some of my OGs, interested in going in the fraternity route, but they're like older. You know what I'm saying? Like removed from
Mhm.
school, just in society. Do you suggest they could tap in, even though they like removed from the like undergrad life?
Yeah, they can still do it.
Yeah.
Every Greek organization has alumni chapters where individuals that didn't get a chance or opportunity to do it during undergrad or wasn't even looking at it in undergrad, but now all of a sudden, as an adult and as an alumni, you're interested in doing it, you could still join and be a member.
So what's the benefits though now? Like you know what I mean? As on the alumni side, post undergrad.
Yeah. So the benefits I could say as if you was to join as as a member in an alumni chapter, some of the benefits that you could get mainly in that aspect is networking. Like you
Mm,
never know, you might network with different kinds of individuals in your career space where that particular individual can help elevate you or give
mm,
you some tools, can give you some guidance.
yeah.
Um, if that individual does join on a graduate level, they will still get, the certain perks that every member will get, such as like the gifts, the membership gifts,
Mm,
certificates, things of that nature,
okay.
still having the ability to go to different conferences, meetings,
Mm,
those events. But the main aspect of it all is being able to just network with people and
mm,
see how you can grow within yourself internally, but also see how you can grow within yourself externally too.
okay. Okay.
So it's something for
I
everybody.
like that.
But I can say for any individual, regardless of if you are doing it in undergrad or if you're doing it as an alum, really ask yourself, what do you see yourself doing in the organization? But then also, what can the organization bring out of you? I can say for me, when I joined my fraternity, I joined actually this Saturday will make it 16 years since I became a member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. I can say for me, the fraternity actually helped me to really see what I didn't really realize I had it in the inside, but I
Mm,
already kind of knew it was coming, which
mm,
was that aspect of like leadership, that
mm,
aspect of command, speaking up, showing out for yourself, being able to just have that aspect of knowing that you got it, you already doing it, just put it out there and
right.
stuff, and that helped me out. It kind of showed me that it kind of opened me up more, I could say.
Okay. Okay. I appreciate that. Shouts out to anybody that helps out, that's interested in going that route. Let's pivot. Let's get into some mental health talk. So you're a mental health therapist, but talk to us about JG Mental Health Fridays.
All right. So JG Mental Health Fridays all got started in April of 2020. So right in the height of the pandemic, um, around that time of the pandemic, when I was working with Family Links, because that was the job I was at that
Mhm,
time, I had got furloughed because all the schools were closed and everything because they were trying to figure out, all right, what can we do? What can we do?
mhm,
So during that time of being furloughed, I was wondering, like, all right, how can I still help people? Because it's like, dang, I can't do nothing. And everything. So God put it in my head, like, hey, make some videos. But
mm,
with making those videos at the time, it was more therapeutic for me because it was helping me to kind of not get too worried or anxious about what's to happen or what's to come during the pandemic. And with the videos, I actually started doing it on social media. So I started posting it on Facebook, Instagram,
mhm,
and LinkedIn just as a start, and stuff. And once it started picking up more and people actually like giving me like different tips that they want me to talk about and different aspects, I kind of say, all right, I'm gonna keep this going, make this a weekly thing.
mm,
Once it started picking up some more and growing some more on social media, my mom told me, hey, make a YouTube channel. At the time, I said no because I didn't want to look at it as a monetary gain, and such, because I really just wanted to just put stuff out there that people could use, as a resource. But I thought about it and I said, okay, at the end of like 2021, around my birthday, that's when I created the YouTube channel. I uploaded all the videos that I had done from 2020 to the end of 2021, just put it on YouTube. And then
mm,
from there, just start just doing the videos on YouTube and just start putting snippets on
mm,
social media. So if people wanted to see the full everything. They
Yeah.
just would have to go on YouTube to just watch it. And now to this day, it's growing. It's going well. It's not like in the thousands or nothing like that, but from where it started at to where it's at now, it's doing, doing this thing, and I'm proud of it. I'm
That's
very
good.
proud of it.
I love it. I love it. Man, listen, shouts out to you just for creating that space, man. For us to tap in. Question: as a Black male therapist, what unique challenges and opportunities have you faced in breaking the stigma around mental health and social work?
I think the stigma that is being broken right now as being a Black male therapist is that in this field, it's not a female, even though it's a female dominated industry.
Mm,
We're breaking the mold to say that, all right, it's not female dominated anymore. There are men out there that's doing the work. There are Black men out there that's doing the work. And as you can see now, most men like myself and a couple other people that I know that are in this space, they are out there. They're putting different things out there. They're collaborating with other organizations. Um, they're publishing books, publishing articles.
mm,
They're breaking that stigma of like, hey, we out here. Men are out here, and with that, with us being in this space and in this field, it's giving other men the ability to be like, all right, I could actually go to a male therapist now instead of a
mhm,
female therapist, or
mm,
get a chance to see what a male therapist is like than the typical norm of going to a female therapist and
mm,
such.
mm. Question. So, like for me, right? I remember years ago, I had when I was piloting the bunker, my girl Erica was like, "Murph, you better get you a therapist." And I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
still kind of my old school ways, like, I don't need no therapist. But then it's like I one time I went and explored it. That's how I play along. I went to the site, and it's like I want scores of different type of therapists, different kind of therapy. And I'm like, one, I don't think I need it. Two, which one of these would I need? You know what I mean? What advice would you give someone like me that's like, if I want to like explore getting a therapist, like where do you start?
All right. So normally what most people start with doing is, first off, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want in therapy? And such. And once you find out what you want in therapy, that's when you can start doing your research.
Okay.
The number one website that everybody normally goes to the most is Psychology Today. So with Psychology Today, you could type in, all right, I need a therapist for, so I'll just throw something out there. So I might need a therapist for depression. I would type in the word depression in the search box, and then I could categorize it and be like, hey, I want an African American therapist. I want a male therapist. I want somebody in this particular state. I want somebody that has this particular insurance. So you get to narrow it down and just start
Mm,
researching based on there. Um, People would normally go on social media and put out there, say, in search of a Black male therapist, or I'm in search of this particular therapist and stuff.
mhm,
Um, and then there's like different, groups that people are part of on social media that will be vulnerable to say, hey, I'm looking for somebody. Do you know anybody in mind? And I know on Facebook, people always do that all the time.
mhm.
And my name get bring
Right,
hit up Johnny, hit up Johnny, hit up
right.
Johnny. But that's
Yeah,
what people,
and word of
do.
mouth.
They really want to, seek out there. So really just identify what you want in therapy and just start doing your research from there
Okay.
and start narrowing it down based on what you see fits for you, and
Okay.
then give it a try.
Yeah.
Now with therapy, you might be like, all right, I'm not cool with this therapist right now. But that doesn't mean stop your journey. You can look
Mm,
for another therapist and give it a shot. It's
mm,
just like buying a car.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Interesting. Huh. All right. I was stewing that. Keep your line open. I'm gonna text you,
Now
Johnny.
you're gonna stew on it.
Hey, question for you.
Mhm.
You've walked alongside others in their darkest moments. When you reflect on your own childhood or early journey, what pain taught you how to be present for others?
What pain taught me how to be present for others? Man, that's deep.
We gonna pull back right in.
Cause there's I've been through some stuff. I've been through some stuff. I think one moment I say that kind of stands out right now, and it kind of shows me how I could be present for others. Really was when I went through my seizures. So in 2018, um, Thanksgiving of 2018, I should say, in Philly, I had suffered a seizure in my sleep, had to go to the emergency room and everything. They said you had a seizure, and stuff. But then that one seizure ended up turning into three. So I had one on November 22nd of 2018, and then I had two back to back on December 10th of 2018. During that time frame of figuring out what was going on or what was wrong, I had to stay with my family. And at that time, I could be honest, I was giving my family a living hell. Because one, I ain't want to be back in Philly. I want to go, go for the holiday and come right back.
Right.
I had some stuff already planned out here that I was thinking about and figuring out, okay, how this is going to work while I'm staying here, and stuff. And I was just taking my emotions out on my family until I had like two meltdown moments. And with those two meltdown moments, it kind of gave me the space to really open up and say like what I was really feeling. I'll say the first meltdown moment was when um my mom had said something that struck a nerve, and I just went off at the mouth of just going off about different things from childhood to now and everything in that nature, which maybe brought me down to tears, and stuff. And then the second time I had a meltdown because I was wondering like, why am I going through this? Why do I have to go through this at a time of, in this moment? But to help me realize, okay, of being there, for others, I thought about my family at that time. Well, thinking about my family right now because, there are moments where I should be able to, check in with my family more. Be able to, say, "Hey, mom, how you doing?" Which I do every day. We text each other, "Good morning, good night," all the time. Checking in on my siblings more, which we have a group chat where we, check on each other and stuff. But being able to say, "All right, take yourself out of the situation, take yourself out of the moment, and see what's going on around you and stuff." Um, yeah, and I'll say even outside of that, after the aspect of me going through my seizures, I could bring it up with the aspect of my dad. When my grandmom had passed in 2019, um, like I said, my dad and I kind of had grew closer after my grandmom had passed, and I told him, I said, you know what? Every Christmas, which is because my birthday is the day before Christmas. For my birthday and Christmas, I'm gonna spend my birthday and Christmas with you, or whatever. Because I felt after his passing, after my grandmother's passing, that he was internally suffering. And with him internally suffering, he did, and I always used to ask, like, "Dad, you all right? You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good, son. Like, I'm good." But I know he wasn't good and
Right.
stuff. And I noticed that he wasn't good because growing up, I already know my dad was a Budweiser drinker and everything, and he drank every day when it comes to drinking Budweiser. But I noticed that his drinking increased more after my grandmom had passed because looking at it, my great grandmom had passed in 2012 from diabetes. My grandmom passed from throat cancer in 2019. My grandfather, which I haven't met my grandfather physically, except when I was a baby, which I don't remember. But my grandfather passed when I was like real young because he passed away through a car accident
Mm,
and everything. So with my dad losing his dad, great grandma, mom,
mm,
still got your stepmom and
mm,
everything that you call mom, but your main immediate people are gone, even though you have siblings and stuff, but your main people that you've been around with is gone and everything. So you're like coping and suffering,
mm.
in silence and stuff.
So
And now leading to
you didn't feel
mhm,
no kind of way because so like when you think about it, he split. So you had that void. Now as an adult,
mhm.
he's going
Yeah.
through it, but now you like kind of there for him. Like how'd you
Mhm.
deal with that emotionally?
Well, because I talked to him about it when I had the first meltdown when I had it
Mm-hmm.
with my mom. I called my dad right after and I said, Dad, I broke down because I ain't like how this was going, growing up, and I had missed you physically and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I had told him about some emotions that I felt from when I was, growing up. One, when he had missed my high school graduation. I wanted him to come to my high school graduation. I'm because he missed that. Even though he came to my Penn State graduation, he only was able to stay for a little bit of time and he had to leave and go back to Alabama.
Mm,
He missed my grad school graduation, so I had a little bit of emotions with that and
mm,
stuff. But I had to realize, like, all right, I can't get too much mad because I already know what he was dealing with, which was taking care of, my grandmom and everything in that nature because of her being sick and stuff.
mm,
Um, but after him and I started talking more, on it and stuff, that kind of made me have that sense of being able to kind of like say, like, be more like a caretaker
mm,
aspect while he was suffering in that moment, even though he didn't say that he was suffering. But like I said, you could tell that your parents is going through,
yeah.
certain things until that final moment. Now, when that final moment happened, that was um it was quick. I
Mm,
didn't expect my dad, to be honest. I didn't expect my dad to pass the way he passed. For the people out here that's watching, I could give y'all like a little backstory. So I'll say the beginning of 2023, my dad had called me and said, "Hey, I think I have prostate. I think I got prostate cancer." And he was
mm,
crying he called me on the phone crying and
wow.
everything and saying that he thought that he had prostate cancer. And I said, Dad, don't get too worked up on it. You'll be fine because my grandfather was dealing with it on my mom's side, was actually dealing with it he was in the early stages of it and he beat it.
Mm,
So I said, Dad, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Until I'll say like June-ish. Yeah, like June of 2023. That's when my dad called me, said, No, I don't have prostate cancer. Um, they're gonna schedule me soon to do a biopsy on my liver. And as soon as I heard that, I thought about liver disease
mm.
because of him with the being, with the drinking and stuff.
Blood is low.
Um, so when that happened, the biopsy was scheduled in August. He's told me about it, and I said, Dad, if things go left, I'm coming down there. He didn't want me to come. He didn't want me to come because he didn't want me to worry, and everything like that. I'll say both of my parents are the same way. If there's something going down, they don't want me to come to get worried because they know I will worry and say, you
Right.
know what, drop this and go. So I was like, all right. But I told him, I said, if I hear something, I'm coming regardless. I'm coming. So they did the biopsy, and from there, I kept getting phone calls from family saying, "Yeah, this is happening, that is happening, this is happening, that is happening." And I said, "You know what? Bump this. I'm going to Alabama."
Mm,
So I told the job, the practice, they already knew what was going on,
yep.
and stuff. So they said, "Yeah, go ahead, go to Alabama." So got on the road, went to Alabama, drove down to Alabama, drove to Birmingham because he was in the hospital in Birmingham,
Mm,
and went to the room. I said, told you if I heard something going left, I'm coming. And he was surprised. He was surprised to see me.
mm,
And
mm,
I said, I told you that, I was gonna come. So with him seeing me being there, he was in good, excuse me, he was in good spirits.
Okay.
He, was moving around and everything until one of the nurses had to pull me to the side and told me that your dad has cirrhosis. And I was like, what in the world is cirrhosis? Because I never heard of that
Mhm.
before.
With the
But
liver.
then when I learned about it, cirrhosis of the liver
Mhm.
is it impacts your body, and the main cause of cirrhosis is alcohol. And I said,
Mm.
oh my God. So hearing that, and working with him to try to make sure that he's cool. He was in good spirits until the next morning. So that was the 17th, August 17th, when I got to Birmingham, talked about the cirrhosis and everything of that nature. August 18th, that morning, woke up to hearing him throwing up.
Mm.
Like he was suffocating in his own throw up. Had to
Mm.
get the nurses and stuff to get him because it looked like he was trying to get out of the bed, but he couldn't get out of bed.
Mhm.
So the nurses came and got him. He was out at that moment, but
Mm.
then my aunt and I, because we stayed the night with him, I prayed, and then they had caught a pulse, but his brain was still, he wasn't cognitively there.
Mm.
So during that time, we just waiting to see what's going to happen, until later in that evening, like later in that evening, that's when they was like, yeah, there's a chance that your dad ain't gonna make it today. So I was like, I don't what I say, what? I
Mm.
was like, I didn't drive all the way down here
Mhm.
to hear that because I wasn't expecting that. I thought I was like, all right, my dad gonna be in the hospital for a few days and then take him back to the house, and I come right back to Pittsburgh.
Right.
So that didn't happen. So from there, hearing that, I had to call everybody, had to call my mom. I was like, Mom, they said that Daddy might not make it.
Mm.
Then called my pastor from my
Mm.
church back home in Philly, called him about that, called him about what was going on. He prayed on the phone for me, and everything. And then the nurses and the doctors had asked if I wanted to put my dad on dialysis, just to get rid of the fluid, because the fluid was building up on him. And I said, yeah, let's, give that a try because he wasn't going to the bathroom and everything that
Right.
day. So they did a dialysis on him. And from there, once they did the dialysis, like an hour later, that's when they was like, "Yeah, you either got to pull the plug, or you're gonna just let him, die in peace." And I
Mm.
was like, at first, I didn't know what to do, but I called family. I was like, I don't know if I want to pull the plug on my dad because I don't want to feel like it's my fault,
Mm.
in that moment, because I want to see maybe he might get up.
Right.
So I said, all right, I'm gonna let it, just leave it alone, just let it see what happens. And
Mhm.
then after I let it see what happens, like that hour later, that's when he had passed on
Yeah.
right in front of us. And I lost it in the hospital right after that because I was like, dang, I wasn't expecting my dad to go, especially young at
Mm.
that time, young at that. He passed when my dad passed, he was 56.
So have you always, 'cause in telling the story, I'm deducing that you've been it's been easy for you to express your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Now, I
Yeah.
think historically, black men I know that ain't never been really the case. So, did you develop that? How did you? That's just always been you.
Well, for me, when it comes to developing emotions, I'll be honest, I was a kid that showed my emotions and stuff, but I feel like it grew more once I went through like my own experiences and then also going to therapy myself.
Mm,
And having like a good therapist that told me, don't hold your stuff in for so long, release it when it's time to release it. And
mm,
I'm comfortable to release what I feel
mm.
regardless, just for to not hold it in so much. So
Right. So, what part of your personal mental health story do you now recognize as your superpower? Even though once you probably thought it was your downfall.
I'll say well, there's two different aspects. So with me talking about my seizures, with
Hmm.
me going for my license, because it took me 9 times to get my license,
No
and I
way.
was my social work license, and questioning, all that and those things. But and then even going to therapy, what I learned was that a setback always leads to a come up.
Mm.
So anytime there's a setback, you can have emotions on it, but don't get too mad or get too worked up on it because a come up is on the horizon.
Mm.
And lo and behold, truly, a come up is always, on a horizon after a particular setback and stuff. So I'll say, for
Mm.
example, all of us went through a setback. The biggest setback we went through was the pandemic. We
Mm.
all went through a setback. And now, since we're back in 2025, 5 years post pandemic, most of us is thriving. Most of us is getting into our things.
Mm.
Um, we learned about ourselves during the pandemic, and now we're exploring more about ourselves, getting into different avenues of things. So
Right.
that particular setback led us to a come up to do
So,
what we didn't expect for us to do.
so let's hang out. You said 9 times on that social work exam. Why, like,
Yes.
what made you keep going back? Why you ain't just give up?
So, all right. So, because glad you asked that because most people was like, I would have quit after the third time, but I was like, no, that's not me. That's
Mm.
not my character because my main thing was, all right, my goal is get this social work license because I already know I'm gonna have to take another test again to
Mhm.
get my clinical license. Because at the time back then, I already had in my head, like, all right, once I get my clinical license, I want to open up my own practice. I want to open up my own stuff, and everything. Um, so I was like, no, I can't give up on this exam.
Mm.
So I tried everything, try different study materials and stuff until the owner of one of the owners of the private practice told me about this one program. I used that one program. I kept my mouth shut. I ain't told nobody when I was taking the test, where I was taking the test at and stuff, and I ended up passing right there, on that ninth try. And then that's when I revealed to everybody that I passed the test, and
Mm.
stuff. And even now, right now, that program that helped me out to get my LSW license, I'm using that program right now to go from an LCSW license.
Mm.
The exam date is already scheduled. Only told two people what date it is, which are the jobs. The jobs have to
Mhm.
know because
Mhm.
I'm taking off that day to take the test, but no one else knows the test date. And I want to keep that same mindset because that's what I
Mhm.
did when I took the exam for when I passed for the LSW license. But
Mm.
mainly my mindset was like, all right, if I want to get this, I can't give up. I got to
Right.
keep going. And the reason why I kept going too, because I was keep getting closer and closer and closer and
Mm.
closer and closer to pass. So I was like, nah, I can't turn back.
Listen, so what has failure taught you that success couldn't?
All right. What has failure taught me that success couldn't?
Mm.
And so what failure has taught me was that whenever you fail at something, there is a lesson that has to be learned. And when failure teaches us lessons. It teaches us what we need to build upon. It teaches us what we need to grow upon. I know when I failed those exams, those times, I learned now that I need to stop overthinking because I am an overthinker. I
Mm.
always will second guess myself on things instead of just follow my first gut and my first instinct.
Mhm.
Of things. So it taught me that, whenever you fail, there's a lesson for your failure. Now with success, we love success and everything, but success can be looked at in two ways. Success is good, but if it's easy success, that means you ain't put the work and the effort in.
Mm.
You don't want no easy here, take it, success.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
want to work hard and earn your success.
Right.
And in order to work hard and earn your success, you will go through some failure.
You'll go through some
And
failure.
I went through some failures 9 times. I went through some failures 9 times. And look where I'm at now. I'm the cream of
Mm.
the crop. I'm the cream of the crop, the hot commodity. Everybody want me,
Talk that
but
talk.
I fell. I fell on some things.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, that's real, man. I appreciate you sharing. Um, man, this is good. Let me see. We right on time, man.
Yes, sir.
Johnny G, anything you want to share? Anything you want us to promote? How can we support you?
Yeah, definitely. So everybody, you can follow me on, Facebook. On Facebook, my name is Johnny RM Geathers on Facebook. On Instagram, JG the Mastermind. On YouTube, you can just type in my name, Johnny Geathers, and you can follow my channel for JG Mental Health Fridays. The next video is dropping on Friday, so be on the lookout for that. And then on my website, you can go on linktree.com/jgathers, and it will have everything on there. So like my website, my YouTube channel, all my social media platforms. Even if you want to buy, some mental health gear, because I am, a brand ambassador for mental health tea. Shout out to Jessica Gurley. She created a mental health t-shirt line back in 2019. So if you want to buy, mental health gear, you could definitely do that as well on that particular, platform.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh man, it's been a plum pleasing pleasure, Johnny G. I appreciate
For
you.
sure, for sure. I need
Yeah,
to, you gotta let me know when the next time we can link up so I can stop in Lancaster.
well, you know what, Johnny G, I done moved, man. I'm
Where
up a
you
little
moved
north.
to?
I'm in Massachusetts now.
Oh,
Yeah,
so see now now I really gotta come up.
pull up. Listen, pull up, fly. You can fly in the boat. Well, you be driving to Alabama, so you can drive up.
Well, now I haven't drove to Alabama since my dad passed.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's the last time I've been to Alabama was my birthday,
Check.
December 2023, and I haven't been back there since. But
Okay.
I kind of said, like, you know what, moving forward, I might not even drive down there. I'm gonna just take a plane,
Yeah.
take a plane and get a rental. But
I like that. I like that. I like that. Well, listen, whenever you're ready, you flying to Boston. We'll make it
yeah,
a
yeah.
vibe for sure. I gotta come up to Pittsburgh too. My guy want to do something for. I think you're hosting the draft, NFL draft next year.
Yep, the
Yeah,
NFL draft is here next
yeah.
year. Yep.
So I'm scheduled to be there. So I'll hit you up and let you know what's
Oh
my.
yeah, yeah, we can link up.
All
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Good, good, good. Well, listen, I'm gonna hit you up. Appreciate you. I'm seeing the green room, but I'll call you. We'll talk offline.
All right.
All right, my G. Salute. Johnny G. All right, listen. That was good, y'all. I hope y'all got some out of that, man. Some nuggets, some gems. This will be live on YouTube. We'll be reposting. Shouts out to my girls on this Role Model Academy. Dr. Nicole, what up? We got patients waiting in the building. I see you. I see you. Oh man. Dang, all good things must come to an end, right? Listen, that's a wrap, good people. Listen, if this spoke to your heart, share it forward. Take a moment and reflect on today's 3, 2, 1. And remember your action item. Take one bold step forward. Let's stay connected. Let's keep building. Follow me everywhere. Speaker pages, IG and TikTok at Mr. MISTER. Motivation, O's with the zeros. TikTok. And you got Mr. Motivation Music, MISTER Motivation Music. TikTok, Mr. Motivation World. Grab your copy of Unbreakable Valor, Triumph Through a Soul of Resilience. You know what it is. Tap into the Breakthrough Bunker. We do a weekly newsletter. It should already be in your inbox if you subscribed. Shouts out to the team. Tim, what up? And for those who are stuck, stalling, or starting over, get clarity, build confidence, and establish consistency in your lives. We'll help you do all of that. Matter of fact, it's a plug. We're doing I got a webinar I'm gonna do at the top of the new year. Shouts out to my men, man. It's been pulling me to just help my brothers out. Because right now I kind of talk to the people. Shouts out to the ladies. I definitely, break bread with y'all. But my men, I feel like we need They need me to like really tap in, being super intentional. So I'm gonna do my my men's mentorship, not mastermind. I'm gonna call it something else, but where you'll have access to me monthly. We'll tap in, break bread, help you build out your life plan. I'll share steps, strategies, and systems for you to go from where you are to where you want to be. Like, what's the bridge, right? And yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. So look out for that. I'll talk about that every week until we get there, and we'll probably do a couple, ads or something. So I'll also be bringing in dope dudes. So Johnnie G, I'm gonna tap him again to come in and talk that mental health talk. Who I got my guy Daniel Wade. He's gonna talk about that communication skill set that he got. My shouts out to all my people in my Rolodex. We got a lot of dope dudes that I'm gonna bring into the fold. We talk about real estate. Shouts out to CJ Pierre. I can go on and on and on, but I won't. What else we got? I think that's it, man. Keep building, keep growing. Shouts out to my students, QCC. Listen, nothing changes if nothing changes. Do remember? Oh, hey, my baby. Hey, do my thing. Come on. Say what's up to the people. My baby just got here. Say hi, girl.
Hey, guys.
There you go. What you just came from? What you was doing? Gymnastics. You already know what it is. Olympics, we coming. I'll be practicing holding my VIP thing. So when I get access to go, I'll be like, she don't like me to talk trash when she's performing. So I'll be quiet like it's tennis. But inside, I'm like, oh, my baby, she got a 9 on the floor. I'll be super excited. It's my baby girl. My son's somewhere probably playing with his Magnetiles.
We're watching TV.
Watching TV, that's unauthorized. I don't know who authorized that, but I'll be there in a second. All right. So that's neither here nor there. Wait, let me check the chat. I see the chat popping. Oh, Dr. Nicole, that's my girl. Yes, honey. She here. All right, good people. I'm about to run the credits. I got to find what Dion be saying? You better play my theme song.
I put it on my hood
grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest low, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out, and I'm getting to it. Can't tell me I didn't do it. No passing L's, we skipping clubs. No taking L's, we getting.
I put it on my
hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest low, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've